Hard sports all plays. Yeah. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Hard sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show, Thursday, December 14th, 2023. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad. Been pretty much par for the week. 3-3 about every day.
I had a good night, real good night. I went, well, I guess not real good, but I went 7-3.
Good.
I was 4-0 in the NBA.
Damn.
And then I was 1-2 in college basketball and 2-1 in hockey. So struggled in college basketball, but pretty good night on the other sports.
Yeah. Pacers decided again to play no defense again. So,
they got their asses kicked on the court, and then I guess there was a scuffle in the hallway after because.
Oh yeah,
you hear about that?
Yeah, Giannis.
Giannis went into the hallway looking for the game ball, and I guess the Pacers wanted to keep the Pacers were trying to keep a game ball to give to Shambe or whatever because he scored his first NBA point. And Giannis wanted the game ball. Of course, he had a historic night, but he said he wanted the game ball to give to Lillard because Lillard passed Korver on the all-time three-point list. But then later, he said he was giving the ball. He was going to give the ball to his mom. So either he wanted the ball for himself or he wanted it for Lillard. He kind of conflicted reports on that. I think it's kind of stupid that we're fighting over a ball. There's more to, I guess there's two balls that are used in the game. So why couldn't 1-1? But I guess Giannis went over there. You could see, I saw the highlight video. He was talking to Halliburton. He was heated. All of a sudden he took off down toward the Pacers locker room. I guess the Pacers general manager got elbowed. And
yeah, there was a lot of shit going on. Well, I thought during the game Halliburton got elbowed or something too.
I'm not sure about that. I didn't watch. I didn't watch any of the game. I'm glad I didn't. The way they got killed. But yeah, Giannis had a historic night. Had like 60-something points. First player to have that many points or shoot for over 70% from the field, over 70% from the free throw line, and have that many points on less than 30 shots. So I mean,
he's definitely one of the best players in the NBA. I mean. He right now he could be a favorite for the MVP. I don't know. He's playing pretty well right now.
Oh yeah, Glenn, I got the game ball right here under the table.
We snuck in and got it.
Oh yeah, I saw that and I started laughing. Like, got Draymond Green trying to knock people out on the court. Got Pacers and Bucks fighting in the hallway over a game ball. You know what? And that's the most attention the NBA gets. Everybody, that's when the most eyeballs are. The NBA is when something like that happens. Especially for like casual people. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that there are some diehard NBA fans, but a lot of your casual fans start paying more attention when stuff like that's going to happen. Look how many more people will watch the next time the Bucks and Pacers play each other just because of what happened.
That too, and how many people watching them clips of Draymond go nuts?
Oh yeah. Well, he ain't going to be seeing no clips of him go nuts for a while.
How long do you think it's going to be?
I don't know.
Indefinite.
Man. It's yeah, I don't know. And the way it is, if he misses less than 20 games, he's fine. He loses so much a game, 100 and something thousand a game. But if it's more than 20 games, he loses like 200 and something. You suspend. You're going to fine him more money if it's longer. I guess that is that supposed to be incentive to. I guess. Well, I guess if you look at, I guess that maybe that's incentive for him to do the things he's supposed to do to get back on the court quicker, maybe. But that's the thing. Nobody knows what are the steps he has to go through to get back. They just say it's indefinite and it's going to be different steps he has to go through before the NBA and the team will let him back on the court. But what are those steps? You know what I mean? Nobody knows. I'm gonna say he's gonna miss. I'm gonna say 10 games.
I'm gonna say to the All-Star break.
Damn, you're saying longer.
I'm gonna say
I don't know when the All-Star break is.
Well, they've played roughly 25 games, so I'm gonna say probably around the 45 or 50 mark in it.
Bro, somewhere around there.
So that's what I'm gonna say. I think that's what it should be. This ain't his first offense. He's an idiot. I mean, it's time he put the foot down on him a little bit. More than a little bit.
I like Draymond.
Well, I mean, I'm not.
No, let me elaborate. I like Draymond, but
he's got out of hand.
He does. He deserved to be suspended. February 14th is All-Star break, is what Glenn says. So you're saying a couple months,
yep.
Or a month and a half or so.
I like Draymond's. What's the right word? That enforcer.
No, yeah, I like him as a player. I like how he plays. Now this stuff and I like some of this stuff. Like you're saying, the attitude, be physical. We saw guys like that. Bill Laimbeer, even Barkley back in the day was a guy like that, enforcer. But there's a line to it as well. And here lately, he's been crossing that line a lot more than he used to. I mean, so I don't know if there's some other stuff going on, but no. But I like him. I like watching him play because of that. I like the fire that he brings and all that. But there is a line you can't cross, and it seems like he's crossing that line more and more. And NBA, I mean, you got to protect other players. I mean, Nurkic could have been really. I mean, you get hit in the side of the head like that, you can be really hurt. I mean,
get a rear naked choke put on you.
Well, I didn't have a problem with that as much because he was defending. He was defending the teammate there a little bit, so I didn't have a big problem with the chokehold or Gobert. Plus, I'm not a big Gobert fan, so but the one other night it was way out of line because you could. I mean, hate to say it, you could kill somebody like that. Yep. I mean, you hit a guy in the temple or something, the right spot. I mean, you could if you don't kill him, you could really mess somebody up. But having somebody in the headlock like he did, like I said, I wouldn't. I mean, should he do it? No, but I wasn't against it as much just because it wasn't like he instigated that. It was more of he was there, kind of the guy was charging the teammate, and he kind of. So I can give him a little bit of not a full pass, but a little bit of pass on that. But there's no way you can spin what happened the other night that he was protecting a teammate or. You know, I mean, you can't justify that. I could justify the headlock a little bit because of the circumstances.
Plus, I didn't see anything that guy really did that warranted anything like that. I mean, he just come out of nowhere. I mean, they had a little tangle or something, but he just come up with a damn Superman punch. I look like a little bit, man.
Good said Draymond was clearing Gobert out. Laughing by that.
I think Draymond should quit the NBA and go bare knuckle fight.
No, well, he's going. If he quits the NBA, he already has a career path. He has a real popular podcast that he does. Yeah. It's good. If you haven't watched it or listened to it or watched it, you ought to. It's good. He's on that. He's part of the Colin Cowherd's podcast. Cowherd's podcast network.
Maybe he could choke Cowherd.
All right, Cowherd was defending him today.
Was it?
Well, Cowherd said, he goes, I'm not defending what he did on the court. What he done on the court was wrong, and he knows it's wrong. But as a person and a human being, he said he's a great person, human being, great employee. I'll always have his back as a person and a human. He said, but he knows what he done on the court's wrong. And he goes, I don't have a problem with the suspension. And he goes, I don't even have a problem with it being indefinite. He goes, that was wrong. But he goes, as a person and employee and everything, he's a great dude, and I always stand by him. And any way I can help him, I'll help him. So, but yeah, because I heard that just a few minutes before the show started when I was outside. But yeah, something's going on with him because yeah, he'd always do a little bit of crazy stuff, but it seems like since last year when he knocked Jordan Poole out, since then
Been on a roll.
things have went a little off rail.
Yeah, spiraled out of control. Real quick, I want to go back to Giannis. Him getting upset like that's kind of unusual, and he's not a real super fiery guy, is he?
No, not usually.
That's kind of
And it was funny because it was over a basketball.
Yeah. I did want to talk just a little bit of NBA real quick, and get your thoughts on a couple of things. First thought, a couple of teams really surprising this year. First of all, really three teams. First of all, the Orlando Magic, 16-7 in third place in the East. Now, I know we're only 24 games in, so we're barely a little over a quarter of the season. That Banchero, who's averaging over 20 points a game, leading the way. They have almost 5 players averaging double figures. They do have 5 players averaging double figures. What do you think about the Magic?
They're a lot like the Pacers. They're a team. They've been struggling a little bit more than what the Pacers have over the last few years. I think the Pacers were a little bit ahead of them on the rebuild on that, but they're young. All their young players are starting to come together and starting to hit. And
I think they play. One difference is I think they play more consistent defense right now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Yeah. But I mean, the way their teams have been built. I mean, if you look at Orlando, a lot of people thought they were going to be a little bit better last year than they were because of the young guys. And now you're seeing them young players starting to mature a little bit. Same thing with the Pacers. I know, we brought in Brown, but a lot of the guys are younger guys. I mean, even Halliburton is young. I mean, our starting five is pretty young, other than Turner. But yeah, the Magic is, to me, is a lot like the Pacers. And I do agree with you. I think they're playing a little bit better defense. I thought they'd be better this year, but they are going into the season. But I'm not going to lie, I didn't think they were going to be doing as well as they are so far. See if they'll be able to sustain it or not. But yeah, I'm. It's nice to see that. It's just nice to see some of these teams getting better because that's what makes the NFL so great is the parity in the NFL. Any team can beat any team almost any day. Yeah, you have your good teams and your bad teams, but most times going into a game, there's a chance that that team don't play a good game, they can get beat. NBA isn't always like that.
Do you think Orlando's going to be able to maintain this? Do you think they're going to be able? I'm not saying, hey, they're going to stay third place in the East. I'm not saying they won't. Who knows? But do you think they're going to maintain enough to maybe make playoffs with this good start? What do you think?
I think they could. I think a lot is going to depend on health. We saw what happened with the Pacers last year. Pacers got off to a hot start like Orlando is this year, and then then we had Halliburton go down, and then it seemed like Turner went down. We never could get back to that rhythm we were playing in. But if they can stay healthy, and that Banchero's been playing real well.
Okay, next up.
Glenn said Magic is legit. I'm happy I bought that nice seat for the road trip early in the season because it probably is double now. Yeah.
Next up, I was going to talk about the Pacers just a little bit. 5th place in the East right now, 13-9. Of course, that's where I kind of thought they'd be for 5th position. I'm hoping they can end up there, maybe better. Again, I think their offense is great. I like the team. I just want to see them play more defense.
Yeah, they're defense is some of it, but it's still rebounding. Rebounding kills us. We give teams too many second chance points. You'll have a decent possession on and that's why I would say rebounding a little bit more in defense. You can have a good possession on defense, and then you don't get the rebound, and then that team ends up scoring.
Yep.
So I think rebounding is what we have to really improve at if we're going to compete at the highest level.
Killed us against the Lakers.
Oh yeah, Lakers were like plus 23, 24 on rebounds that game.
Yeah, they doubled us. So. But yeah, I still think Lakers got a good chance to make the playoffs. I think they'll do well. Hopefully, well, again, injuries. Yeah, Pacers. What did I say? Lakers?
Yeah.
No, hate the Lakers. But anyway, I think the Pacers got a good chance.
I was going to say, would you become a Lakers fan?
No. Maybe if LeBron left, but if but I think the Pacers got a good shot that to make the playoffs.
Oh, I do too.
But they got the same thing as Magic. They're young. They got to stay healthy.
I think rebounding. Yep. I think rebounding is our biggest weakness right now. I agree. Defense has to get better, but I think if our rebounding gets better, that improves our defense.
Yeah. Next up, the Timberwolves, 17-5, first place in the West. Who would have thought that? Who would have predicted that right now? I mean, again, we're only talking about they played 22 games. They're 17-5. They got 5 guys, almost 6 guys in double figures. They just like less than a half point away of having 6 guys in double figures. Led by Anthony Edwards, averaging 24 points a game, and Karl Anthony Towns averaging 21. So, how shocked are you with the Timberwolves?
Well, I'm shocked that they're in first. I thought they'd be better this year. I know a lot of people didn't like that they have brought in Gobert with Towns. I think it's a decent combination. I think last year they had some injuries. The guys were kind of figuring out how to play. They're playing some good ball this year, but I didn't think they'd be in first, not in the West, because I still like Denver. Denver's been struggling a little bit, but I think they'll get going.
You think that's
Lakers have been playing decent.
Yeah.
You
think Denver's a little bit of a championship hangover?
A little bit. I mean, that and like the other night, Jokic getting thrown out of that game was bullshit. But
hell, I didn't see him do anything.
I guess he cussed at the referee. Is from what I got. How many players have you seen yell and go crazy at referees and not get a tech, and then the best player in the game says something and boom?
Okay, next up, the Thunder are second place in the West, and 15-7. Alexander's averaging over 30 points a game, and they've got 6. They do have 6 guys having double figures.
Yeah, they're another team that started to show some flashes a little bit last year as well, kind of like the Pacers. And this year they've been putting together. Alexander's been playing. I've heard his name mentioned. Of course, it's early, but I've heard his name mentioned in the MVP conversation.
I think definitely have to be right now.
But he's been playing well. And they're another team. If they stay healthy, I still don't know if they're at that level where they're going to be able to compete deep in the playoffs, but I do think that they have a chance. I think they're going to be a playoff team this year.
Out of these 3 teams, who do you think's got the best chance to go farther? Out of these 3 teams, staying healthy.
This year, I'd probably say Timberwolves.
A little more experience. I think you're right. I kind of agree. Do you think
more experience, and I think they're a little bit better defense.
But do you think being in the Western Conference? Because some people think the Western Conference is stronger. I don't know that it is. I don't know that it is stronger.
Well, the Thunder's in the West as well. Yeah. Orlando's in the East, but
but the East is strong with Boston and Milwaukee, and I don't know if the West is any. Some people would say because Phoenix, but do you think the West is a lot stronger than the East?
I don't know if it's a lot stronger. I do think it's a little deeper because you got the Clippers who have been playing well right now. Kawhi Leonard's been balling. He's actually seems like he's healthy for a change. They've been playing decent. You got the Suns who haven't been completely healthy, who are pretty good. I think are going to be good. The Nuggets, the Lakers, the Timberwolves. So I think the West might be a little bit deeper, but I wouldn't say it's a lot stronger than the East because the East you got the Celtics, who a lot of people think are the team to beat this year. A lot of people have them as their favorite to win the whole NBA championship. The Bucks with adding Dame Lillard with the Giannis. Sixers aren't really real great, but you got Pacers are pretty. You got some other teams stepping up there are pretty good too. But I'd say the West is a little bit deeper, but I wouldn't say it's as big of a gap as it's been in some years past.
Yeah, also, before we get started, I also wanted to say it's kind of a sad day for Indiana. They lost a legend, George McGinnis, great Indiana Pacer. Well, one of the greatest Indiana Pacers of all time. I'm not probably not the greatest, but in my mind, but definitely one of the greatest. And yeah, he was a great ABA player, which I grew up during that time. And so, yeah, we lost him today.
Yeah, I saw that a little bit ago.
Yeah, Indiana legend.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll jump into today's games. There's the right page. Like I said, I had a good night last night. Was 7-3. I am 731 and 558 on the year. Tonight we got NFL game, big Thursday night game here. I think this one might be a barn burner.
Yeah.
Chargers at the Raiders. Both of them Chargers with a backup quarterback. I was going to say both of them, but I guess the Raiders that kind of basically made this guy, made O'Connell their starters because Garoppolo's got back healthy, but they haven't put him in yet. Of course,
Let me ask you,
Herbert's out for the season.
Do you? Of course, we're not coaches, but do you agree with that decision for them to do that and not play Garoppolo?
I don't, but I would have, especially when you switch coaches, because I think a lot of their problem was the coach with McDaniels. So I think if you would have put it when Pierce came in as coach, I'd have put Garoppolo back as a starter to see how he done with not having McDaniels with the new culture and everything, and then if it was struggling, then move on. But yeah, because I think a lot of it was McDaniels myself. Glenn said, "Yeah, Big Mac's health hasn't been good for a while. They were saying he wasn't going to be with us much longer last week."
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I just seen that he passed away today.
Excuse me. Of course, Herbert's out for the season for the Chargers. The Raiders are 3-point favorites at home in this game, minus 164 on the money line. Chargers are plus 138 on the money line. Over-unders at 34.5. I've been going back and forth on who I think is going to win this game. The pick I do like a lot is the under the 34.5 because I think both teams are going to struggle to score points.
Well, we thought that last week too. In that game, and they scored it over the halftime.
The Chargers, I think, scored like 6.
Yeah, I mean 6 points in the last 2 games.
Yeah, they haven't been scoring.
Now they put this. Who's the backup? Do you know?
I can't remember his name now. Easton Stick or something like that. He played for I think North Dakota State or something. Was real good, but was in that FCS instead of FBS.
Come out there and they'll probably put 40 up.
I mean, look how many backup quarterbacks we've seen. A lot of backup quarterbacks coming in and play well this year.
You've had to have a lot of backup quarterbacks with all the injuries.
But yeah, so I'm gonna go with under the 34.5 this game. I think the Raiders are gonna win the game, but I just don't feel comfortable enough picking either one of these teams. So I'm going with the under the 34.5.
I don't feel comfortable either, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna take Vegas minus the 3.
Vegas minus the 3. All right, let's see. NBA tonight. Quite a few games again tonight. I'm gonna go with the Heat at the minus 3.5 against the Chicago Bulls at home. The Heat are at home. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Timberwolves at the plus 1.5 against on the road at the Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to go with the Oklahoma City Thunder at the plus 2.5 on the road at the Sacramento Kings. And I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Clippers at the minus 5.5 at home against the Golden State Warriors. That's going to be my four picks for the NBA tonight.
I only went with 2 picks. I didn't like much of the NBA. I got Chicago at Miami. I'm taking Miami minus 3.5, and I'm taking OKC Thunder plus 2.5 at Sacramento. And my 2 NBA picks.
Excuse me. Hockey tonight. I'm going to go with 3 games. I'm going with the Flyers at home on the money line against the Capitals. Red Wings at home on the money line against the Hurricanes. And I'm going to go with the Canucks on the money line at home against the Panthers.
I did 4 NHL games. I went Columbus at Toronto. I'll take Toronto money line. I've got Washington at Philly. I'll take Philly money line. I got Calgary at Minnesota. I'll take Minnesota money line. I got Tampa Bay at Edmonton. I'll take Edmonton money line. And that's my hockey picks for tonight.
College basketball night. I'm on 2 games. I'm going with Tulane at home at the -7.5 against Furman. I'm gonna go with Marquette at home at the -24.5 against St. Thomas, Minnesota. Really ain't no like big matchups tonight in college basketball. A lot of them are, really no like top 25 matchups. None of the marquee matchups tonight. Got a couple top 25 teams playing. Marquette's one of them. They're playing St. Thomas, Minnesota. And I forget who the other one was. There was another one. But
Big Ten should be hitting pretty soon, shouldn't it? A lot of games, I would think.
Well, some of the conference games have started, but there wasn't hardly none tonight. Wisconsin was another other top 25 team playing tonight. They're playing Jacksonville State. They're 19.5-point favorites. But yeah, that's all the picks for tonight. Of course, tomorrow we'll have a lot more because you got the weekend coming up.
You want to predict some UFC for Saturday?
I don't know. I haven't even looked at the card yet, so I'll probably look at the card here later and see what I like on there. Should be some pretty good NFL games this weekend. Bills and Cowboys play this weekend.
Yep, Colts.
Yeah,
play Saturday. We'll see if
Against
they
the
wake up.
Steelers.
See if they wake the hell up.
I hope they do, but we usually did not play good against the Steelers.
That's true. That is true.
I forget from how many years, but Colts are like 8-26 or something against the Steelers. Guess who put that tweet out? Jim Irsay. It's like, dude, no. So, well, I guess we'll address the elephant in the room. It's like, no, nobody was even thinking about that until you brought it up. But yeah, the Colts have struggled against the Steelers for a while.
I got a friend at work who's a huge Philadelphia Eagle fan, young guy, and he's even went to a couple games this year in Philly, and did last year too. And he's been this way even before they lost these 2 games. He does not like that offensive coordinator at all. He's not a fan. And you know who he wants to be the offensive coordinator? He wants to bring back I can't think of his name. The guy just got fired in Carolina.
Reich. Bring Reich back to Philadelphia.
He wants Reich back. He wants back now. he does not like the offensive coordinator at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's all the offensive. I think I don't think they're not executing as good as they did last year. I do think they're missing their coordinator some, but I don't think it's all that either. The offensive line's not playing as good this year as they did last year. The defense, either line, and that's the most important thing in football is the line of scrimmages. Last year they dominated people at the line of scrimmage,
knocked people off the ball
on offensive side and defensive side of the ball, and they're not doing that this year. I think that's the biggest difference.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. I do think they miss coordinators. I mean, look what Steichen has done in Indianapolis. So I mean, yeah, you lose a guy like that, it's going to affect you.
Yep.
But I think, and they also lost their defensive coordinator as well.
Where'd he go? I can't remember now.
Who?
Defensive coordinator. He went to.
He's the coach of Arizona, I believe. Isn't he Gannon?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure that's where he went. But yeah, should be some good football games this weekend. So. And we got college football this weekend back. I know it's not the big bowl games, but we got some bowl games.
Anything to note?
I'm looking now to see if there's any of the big what's the. I mean, not that I'm really seeing. Let's see. On Saturday, you got California at Texas Tech. UCLA at Boise State, New Mexico State at Fresno State, Miami of Ohio at Appalachian State, Jacksonville State at uh, Louisiana Lafayette, Howard at Florida A&M, and Ohio against Georgia Southern are the Saturday games. So I mean, not like real big.
Yeah.
But a lot of them bowl games end up being pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's see. On Monday, you have Western Kentucky at Old Dominion. Tuesday, UTSA against Marshall. The big bowl, the playoff games aren't till the first, which last year they were a little sooner than that. Yeah, they were. Well, I guess not a lot sooner because they were on New Year. I know one of them was on New Year's Eve because I remember the Ohio State and the Georgia game. The guy was kicking the field goal to try to win the game as it was hitting midnight on New Year's Eve.
Yep, that's true.
So I guess it is about the same because this year they're on New Year's Day instead of New Year's Eve, so they're still pretty close. Because I was listening, I was at the bar listening to my buddy's son's band play, and I was watching the game on TV, and they were doing the countdown for the new year, and they were getting.
Yep.
I was paying attention to the TV that had the football game on, whether he was going to hit the field goal or not.
Yeah, sure was.
All right. Well, do you have anything else for today?
No, I don't think so. I think we're good to go. Yeah, I did want to plug something. No, I can't remember what.
Yeah, he said right at midnight. With yeah, it was crazy how that timed out. All right, while you're looking that up, my picks on the year are 731 and 558. My picks for tonight, NFL, I'm going Chargers Raiders under 34.5. NBA tonight, Heat minus 3.5, Timberwolves plus 1.5, Thunder plus 2.5, and the Clippers at the minus 5.5. NHL tonight, Flyers money line at home against the Capitals, Red Wings money line at home against the Hurricanes, and the Canucks at home on the money line against the Panthers. And in college basketball tonight, I'm taking Tulane at home at the minus 7.5 against Furman, and Marquette at home at the minus 24.5 against St. Thomas, Minnesota.
Okay. My picks for tonight, I've got the NBA, excuse me, NFL. I'm going with the Chargers at Vegas. I'm going to take Vegas minus the 3. NBA, I got Chicago at Miami. I'll take Miami minus 3.5. I got Oklahoma Thunder plus 2.5 at Sacramento. NHL, I got Columbus at Toronto. I got Toronto money line. Washington at Philly. I got Philly money line. I got Calgary at Minnesota money line. And Tampa Bay at Edmonton. I got Edmonton money line. And also, don't forget, we got that big wrestling show Sunday. Warrior Pro Wrestling. Doors open at 2. Wrestling starts at 3. And then I wanted to plug the Kokomo Press Holiday Live Special this Saturday, December 16th at 8 p.m. I assume it's on all social media, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, I would assume.
Yeah, I know it's on Facebook. I'm would assume they'll have it on their other social media as well.
But our good friend Hypoxy Jones, he's part of that, and they got a great crew there at the Kokomo Press. So definitely check that out. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I know it's going to be funny. They're pretty good at their satire and stuff. So definitely check that out.
Oh yeah, it'd definitely be worth watching.
Oh,
you won't be disappointed. Like he just mentioned, Sunday, join us 3 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room for Warrior Pro Wrestling 27. Should be a great card. I know they got the big championship rematch with Logan Myers taking on the champion Blake Money Wright. And of course, I think Zay Gates is going to get his championship opportunity against Jesse Winchester, and then there'll be a lot of other good matches. They always put on a good show there. So join us Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern for that.
Speaking of that, I'll plug WCWO. They got a big show this Friday night too. Got some real good matches announced for it, so definitely might want to check out WCWO. They're in Indy. Doors open at 6:30. Showtime at 7:30. All tickets $12. You can look at their social media page and get all their information. But they got a lot of big shows coming up here and over the holidays too. So definitely check them out.
Yeah, they got two big shows next weekend with Cagemas and then
Spin the Wheel.
Spin the Wheel on that Saturday the 23rd. So, and I saw the card for tomorrow night, and
It's a heck of a card.
They got a heck of a card for tomorrow night as well. So
some great
yeah,
matches.
if you're in the Indianapolis area, 1151 Kentucky Avenue is a place to be tomorrow evening.
I agree.
But yeah, because I saw that card last night. I was like, man, that's a good card.
Yeah, real good.
And then I know next week for doing the Friday and Saturday, both those shows I think will be real good. So yeah, go check out WCW if you're a wrestling fan and you're in the Indianapolis area. They run every Friday night, and for $12 you can't beat it.
That's $12 you ever spend. Damien had a question. Do you want to entertain that?
Let's see what's he saying here.
I've heard a lot of people mention this.
Okay, question was Draymond's suspension really necessary? I mean, he punched a player, but he did not do what John, Miles, Bridges, or Giddy did, and they were getting a slap on the wrist. Well, John Morant missed some games last year and some games this year, so I wouldn't call that just a slap on the wrist. Bridges, I can't remember why he got suspended. The Giddy thing.
Has he been officially charged with
No,
anything
the Giddy
yet?
thing is, no, he hasn't. That's the thing with Giddy. Giddy hasn't, it's just allegations. He's never been charged with anything. So if we're just going to start suspending people because of allegations, we're not going to have no players to play. I mean, because especially in this world we live in where somebody can just get on the internet, boom, 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 this player done so-and-so done this, and then we're just going to start suspending people. I understand if Giddy done what people are saying. From what I'm hearing, it was more of he was like a senior in high school at 18 or 19, and she was like 16, 17, like 2 grades below him. Yeah. That happens all the time. But I don't know the whole thing, so I can't comment on it. But that's from what some of the reports I saw. But the thing is, it's just been allegations. There's, and I guess that girl's family isn't cooperating with cooperating on it, trying to be investigated and stuff. So I don't know. You know what I mean? You don't know the whole thing. So I don't think Giddy should be suspended or anything yet until you find out what happened. You just can't go off allegations. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, because it could be a witch hunt. It could be a bunch of bullshit, and it could be true. I mean, who knows?
Oh yeah, it could. If it is true, if it is found out to be true, he should get punished.
Let it be investigated and
suspended or kicked out of the league, whatever they end up deciding. But if it's when it's just allegations like that,
let me ask you:
you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And it's in the last few years, for some reason, in people's opinion, that's flipped.
Could be someone getting a payday. It could be a lot of things. I mean, we don't know. So that's why I think you got to be careful what you say, because, again, we don't know anything. Once it gets investigated and if charges are brought up, if he's never charged with anything, how can you do anything in a situation like that? Just because he's accused, and he's not, as far as I know, he's not being accused of anything by the family or the girl, to my knowledge. Somebody else has brought it out. So,
I think until you get there's more clarification of what happened and he's been charged with something or something like that. I don't see how you can suspend them.
Glenn, do you remember what Bridges did? Because I don't really remember Bridges' stuff.
Yeah, I forget exactly what he done now. I remember it, but I don't. Like I said, I can't remember off the top of my head.
And I think Green's suspension was warranted because, like you said, what he did. He could have really. It wasn't like a jab. It was. Well, he could have really. Yeah. He could have really.
And not just that.
Injured him.
Not just that. This is like the third or fourth time in a year span that he's had some kind of altercation or something happen. So I mean, at some point now indefinitely. I mean, you could say indefinitely is a little strong. I can see people saying indefinitely is a little strong. but let's see how long he's out. Like I said earlier, I think he's going to around 10 games is what I'm figuring.
I'm thinking 20 or more is what I'm thinking. Maybe
So,
12. I'm thinking maybe to the All-Star break. That's what. But I was thinking the All-Star break was about after 45 games. It may be 55 games. That may be too.
He says in February.
So February. That could be a little long. So.
Okay, yeah, I remember it was domestic violence thing. Yeah, I remember. And but didn't he get suspended for? Didn't he get suspended? He got suspended for a while or something too. And that's the other thing. And there's different levels to it, but just because somebody makes a mistake and does something bad, to me, don't mean they should just get written off for life. I mean, now don't get me wrong. Like I said, there's different levels to it. But there's also if you're just right, if everybody makes mistakes, and if somebody makes a mistake and you write them off for life, then their life's basically ruined. I mean,
and also,
how's that helping anybody?
Again, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember the whole story, but I do remember a little bit about. But I do think he got suspended for that. I don't think he just they just said, "Oh no, you can go ahead and play."
The thing with domestic violence, it's very very tricky because a woman could come at a man or vice versa, and that person can grab somebody hard by an arm and leave a bruise, and you're going to go to jail. So I'm not saying they shouldn't go to jail. I'm not saying that, but there's, like you said, there's different levels. We don't know. I don't know the story there, so I really can't comment on it. But I think if it was proven that he did it and he was arrested, I think that he should be suspended some. But again, that's me not knowing a whole lot of the details. But should he be?
Oh, okay. Let me ask you this, Damien, because you said it was just a slap on the wrist. Bridges still faces. I'm just reading this report here. Bridges still faces allegations of violating a protective order, but his suspension for felony domestic violence has expired. Bridges missed all of last season in the first 10 games of this season following his arrest in Los Angeles in 2022. If that's just a slap on the wrist, what would be a major punishment if he missed over a whole season?
And things are still pending, right?
Well, I guess since then, he violated a protective order.
Okay.
So now he's facing allegations of that. But now his suspension for that ended. He missed all of last season and the first 10 games of this season.
So he's missed 90.
Well, yeah,
90 games. That's not counting playoff stuff. 90 regular season games. I think that's a fairly stiff penalty.
Damien said ban players. See, but if you're doing,
but are you banning people you don't like, or are you banning? I mean, who's your favorite player? If your favorite player did that, would you say ban him? I mean, and I'm not saying you're saying that. I don't know, but I'm.
It's just like I said. You start banning players for ban. Just to me, okay. This is just my view.
It's a tough subject.
This is my view, and it's not on domestic violence or anything particular. If somebody makes a mistake, if we start writing off everybody because they make a mistake and do something, now if they keep doing it, yeah, the punishment should get severe. But if you make a mistake and do something terrible or do something like that, if we just start writing every people off and banning them from professions, how are these guys supposed to make a living? And I know right now we're talking about NBA players who make a lot of money. But okay, let's say I've done something stupid like that. I get fired from my job. How am I, and if I just get banned from ever being able to work again, how am I supposed to support my family? You know what I mean? So it's
okay, perfect.
And what's America always supposed to be? One of our things we've been built on is like the home of second chances.
Yeah, the perfect example. What was the quarterback's name? Atlanta Falcons got in all the
trouble. Michael Vick.
Michael Vick. He was banned, a lot of trouble and stuff. He's been given a second chance. He's come back. I think he's done pretty well. I mean, I think you got to give people second chances, and I think
especially if they serve their punishment. If you get punished, you serve your punishment. You should have a chance.
And I think he did something pretty horrific. I mean, I know it's not
the dog fighting stuff. Yeah,
to animal cruelty. I think it's a really bad thing.
You still have people, and he still loses opportunities this day because like NFL was going to use him for something, and all the animal activist people started going crazy, and they kind of took him out of that role because of that. So I mean, he still loses stuff because of he still loses opportunities because of his past, but he's also been afforded some other opportunities because he served his punishment and had and is and for the I mean nothing else came out bad about him. So he's demonstrated that hey, he was wrong, but he's changed and he's trying to live life the right way. So explain to me why LeBron got 3 games for doing the same thing that and made the player bleed. Oh, well, because they're giving Draymond more games because he's
Done it a lot more.
habitual offender. Not saying that's right because right, but that's what it is. They're giving Draymond. Is getting more severe punishment than what other people would because this he's a multiple offender. This isn't the first time he's had altercations. But all right, you got anything else?
No, I think we're good to go.
But no, Dame. I see what you're. I mean, I get
No.
what you're saying.
Hey.
Because there is times that it seems like some players get harsher punishments than others, because that goes in all sports. So I mean, I understand what you're saying completely.
I'll give you a pretty simple answer. Life's not fair. Some people are gonna get in everything. People get special treatment, and that's the way it's gonna be. LeBron's always going to get treated different than some other players. I mean, Bridges ain't near the star that he is, or Draymond Green ain't near the star that he is. And I'm not saying I think Green deserved what he got. That's my opinion, and we don't even know what he got.
I don't know if it should have been came out as indefinite.
Okay, let me ask you this: if it's 20 games, you're not going to be upset. Well, if it's the rest of the season, that may be a little strong. I mean, it depends. We don't know what it is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wish they wouldn't have came out indefinite. I wish they came out. He's going to miss. He's suspended for 15 games. They've been kind of doing or that 20 lately. Games.
They've been kind of doing that lately.
No, that's true. Or I mean, you're missing 25 games. I think it's better to come out and, like with a concrete like what it's going to be. But yeah, I don't think personally. I think 10 games is enough. But if it goes to 20, I'm not. If it was 20, I'm not going to throw a fit and be real mad. Now, if they took him out the rest of the season, I would say, hey, that's too much. That's strong.
Some people think that the league did it indefinite to send a message not only Green to Golden State that they need to something needs to be done with this guy. You know, get him some help, do something. Something's wrong, and I don't disagree with that. Something seems off with him because
and we don't know what I mean. He could be having some mental issues or off the court stuff going on off the court in his personal life that is he's letting come over into this, and maybe and you're not. I mean, you shouldn't, but hey, sometimes it's hard to separate your personal life from what you got going on professional.
Ron Artest, a perfect example. I do nuts.
Oh, I was a bigger Ron Artest fan back in the day.
He still come back and end up getting a ring, didn't he? Did he get a ring with the Lakers?
I think so.
I believe so.
Really good.
Well, you know, I mean, he got choked. But Draymond take care of Clay. Don't worry about that. He'll choke Gobert out. He take care of his own.
Yeah, Glenn said he did get a ring. I thought he did. He got the ring with it, but when he got the ring, what his name? Meta World Peace in.
Yeah, but you know what? That's one thing. Like I said before, Damien, life's not fair. Ron Artest, and I like Ron Artest. I always was the fan. Gets a ring, and freaking Reggie Miller never got a ring. Life ain't freaking fair.
I still think Reggie was going to get his ring that year.
I do too.
Pacers had a squad. Had a squad that year.
I don't even like to think about that. Even though that was one of the craziest things I ever seen.
I'll never forget. I just left your house, got to my house, walked in, turned the game on, and then all hell broke loose. And my phone's ringing, and it was you.
I'd never seen nothing like it.
Because wouldn't that? was that right around Thanksgiving or no, right around Christmas, wasn't it?
Somewhere in that
Something
time,
like
yeah.
that. Because I remember I was at your house and then I left and went to go home.
Yeah, it was some crazy shit.
And I walked in, turned the game on, and just a couple minutes later, all hell broke loose. And man, we had a team that year. I still think we went. I mean, I always will believe that we were going to win it that year.
Yeah, I do too. I really believe we was going to.
Hey, that's how it happens sometimes. But we appreciate everybody watching. This has been Easy Money, a sports betting show. Join us tomorrow right around 3:00. We'll be back.
See what Damien brings up
Yeah,
tomorrow. Damien?
it was right. Yeah, you're right. It was right around Thanksgiving. I thought I don't know what made me think maybe Christmas, but yeah, it was.
We'll see.
Because my birthday's on Thanksgiving sometimes, and yeah, it was right. It was right there in that area.
Damien, get your list tomorrow, and we'll see who you want to ban tomorrow.
But,
I'm just kidding with you, David.
join us tomorrow right around 3. Enjoy the games tonight, and we will see everybody tomorrow.